I'm really, really interested to see how it plays out because I think it will do well. It will do great. And with Gunther and Little Ray, now you see Gunther get a little heat.
They did get another addition to the SmackDown roster, SP3. This is something that we had talked about. All of a sudden now when you get Karrion Kross and Braun Strowman back, and Max ain't no small guy either, and then you bring in Bray Wyatt, all of a sudden SmackDown was like the land of the beef. It was big meaty men bumping meat. Well, now we got something on the complete opposite side of that. They bring in Legado del Fantasma. Great. Now they bring in Rey Mysterio as well. We're sitting here wondering, when is it going to be Dominic and Rey? When's he finally going to just smack the ever-living shit out of his, smarmy kid, who's actually a full-grown man, but for some reason, commentary loves to sell him like he's a 12-year-old boy. But whatever. Instead of going that route, Rey says, nope, I don't want none of this. He goes to Triple H, says, hey, look, I quit. I can't be on the same show as my son. And Triple H was like, all right, fine. Instead of you quitting, instead of you beating up your son, I'm going to put you in this on the blue brand. We're going to put you in an Intercontinental title qualifier. You're going to win that, and congratulations. Now you're going to face Gunther. So, Dutch,
I like it.
He doesn't want to beat up his son, so he says,
but
he worked out a deal to move him over to SmackDown, and now he's an IC title contender. What do you think? Yeah,
but it's still there, right? He don't want to beat up his son, but the possibility is still there. So let's
not act like the brands are, a fortress. All right, like we see people hop on different brands week to week basis.
They come up with logical reasons for that.
Logical. Don't ever use that word with wrestling. I mean, but when it is logical, it works. If the people can sit back, so that makes sense. Because wrestling fans, they sit back after they watch a show and they go, that don't make a friggin' bit of sense. What the hell are they thinking?
At least the ones who watch on a week-to-week basis, anyway.
Well, and hey, I did it when I was working too. But the ones that the ideas that kind of click in the fans' mind, it makes them think a little bit, they do the best. Or if you got a massive rivalry or, a match coming up, and that clicks in the fans' minds too, and they want to see who wins it. See, when you have a sellout, say we used to go to Memphis all the time, and it would do on a regular basis 6,000 or 7,000 people a week. Damn, that's a hell of a lot of people do on a weekly basis. Just you got this club, and how many people going to be there? 6,000. What the hell? 6,000 people. But when you drew the casual fans, then you had your sellout. Because that's you casual fans were like, it's like a Memphis WrestleMania, but we just called it a big show. we didn't have a name for it. But when it's sold out, that's when you pack all your angles on this show, and it's a big one. Raise your prices a little bit, give it the appearance of a big show, and run it. I've seen the place jammed out with 12,000 people at least 20 times. Of course, it didn't do that every week. Some weeks, you could put 3,000 people in there, and it looks empty. You could shoot a shotgun off in the place and not hit anybody. But when you had a good card, they were great fans. They would support it, and they'd fill the place up.
The one thing that I do think that this does, right, because this is one of those feuds, SP3, what we've been talking about, the Rey and Dominic thing had been going on for a while now, and week in and week out, it didn't matter what Judgment Day did, Rey wasn't going to hit Dominic. And it's like, okay, well, how long do you keep giving that legs? How long can you kick this down the road? What this does is it separates things out here a little bit. It can allow Dominic and Rhea and whatever they're doing on to focus on something else, because Judgment Day has like 4 different storylines going on right now. You can separate this out, push this match off to a bigger show if that's ultimately your goal, and then you can have Rey do whatever he's going to do on SmackDown. Right now, it's a date with Gunther. I think that's a very interesting matchup. I think Rey is going to get chopped into oblivion, but you know, it's one of those classic Rey Mysterio type matchups, like back in the WCW days when he would go up against the Giant, some of these much bigger guys. It kind of gives it a little bit of an old school feel with this matchup that they've set up.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this match. Rey Mysterio is one of the greatest luchadors of all time. Gunther is kind of the best bout machine of WWE. I feel like ever since he came into the WWE in 2019, he's had a match of the year candidate or winner each and every year he's been here. And I think that he has that potential if they really give them the time, whether it's on an episode of SmackDown or on a premium live event against Rey Mysterio. As far as the Rey and Dominic portion of this, it hasn't been going as long as people think it's been going. It's only been 7 weeks. He just turned heel at Clash at the Castle, which was the beginning of September, but it's because they teased it for so long. They teased it for months before that. That's why it feels like it's longer than that. So if they are putting this on ice, they have a potential to kind of play it out in a slow burn type of way. Like, you can have Rey on SmackDown, and we really haven't seen Rey on his own in a very long time, and we didn't even get that when he returned in 2018. We got a couple of good matches with Andrade. He had a US title run, but then he got into the Mystery Vortex, which was that feud with Seth Rollins, and he's been stuck with Dominic coming out of that ever since. So we haven't been seeing one of the greatest wrestlers of this generation on his own. So him being on SmackDown, facing someone like Gunther, maybe potentially, you know, having other matches, whether it's against Sami Zayn, whether it's against Ricochet, those are all fun options for him. There is so many great opportunities for him, and then you can come back to the Rey and Dominic thing at like WrestleMania or Royal Rumble. And like I said, you could play it out in a slow burn way. Like, the next time we see Rey and Dominic on screen, they can do like a out of the ring, out of the arena, out of the backstage type of scene, and have Dominic bring Rhea to the house for the holidays. That's what I want to see. Book it, WWE. Dominic brings Rhea home for Thanksgiving to the Mysterio family. That is the next segment that I need from Rey and Dominic.
Well, when you get a good base, the idea is just endless with this. I mean, anybody could think of how to go about it, and it would work. Almost any idea about Rey and his son would work, because it's family. Everybody's got a family. He's mistreating his daddy, you know, and then he could probably go on his mother. Anything can happen here. And I'm interested to see how it's going to play out, because I think it's one of the better things they've done. And Rey, they put him in a position to where he's a concerned dad. He cares for his son. No matter what he does, he still like kind of supports him, even though he knows it's wrong. But I'm really, really interested to see how it plays out, because I think it will do well. It will do great. And with Gunther and Little Rey, now you see Gunther get a little heat, because when he starts beating up Little Rey, they love him. And I think that Gunther's going to get some strong heat now. So we'll see.
It's going to be fun.